I'm Emma Rasich. I live in Richmond and I'm a painter. Art sort of has always been present in my life because my parents are both in artistic careers. My mom actually works at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, and my dad is like an architect and like he designs stuff. So I sort of always had them like as inspiration, and they always encouraged me to do art. And I sort of started taking it more seriously like probably around sophomore year when I first actually started taking art classes in school, and then I sort of, that's when I more realized that I really wanted it to be a part of my future. I started painting specifically probably after freshman year because I did the portfolio development program at VCU, and they had a painting teacher there that was really good, and I just like learned a lot about it and realized how much I enjoyed it, and I've sort of stuck with it since then. Art is kind of such like a big priority for me. It's sort of like inevitable that it affects other parts of my life. So I definitely think it affects how I dress. Like I am sort of creative in that sense because I wear some weird things. And it just takes up so much of my time and energy that it definitely like can control other parts of my life, and it is a really big factor in deciding what I want to do in the future and who I surround myself with. So I have a few projects in mind coming up. I have 2 more paintings that I want to get started on when I finish the piece that I'm working on right now. And I have 1 sculpture that I want to try and do because while I paint a lot of the time, I also really enjoy sculpture, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I like experimenting with it, so hopefully I'll have time to do that. I think having moved to the city has definitely helped me in my work because it's just like a much more comfortable place to be in, and I get out of the house more because there's just like a lot more interesting things to do and places to go. So I have more opportunities to get inspiration because I'm not just like sitting in my room because there's nothing to do in Short Pump, Virginia. Then also having like all these art galleries and First Fridays and the Virginia Museum just down the street where I can walk to is really helpful because I can just go there whenever I can look for inspiration. Art has been therapeutic for me, not so much in the way that the actual painting process is relaxing because like I do get pretty frustrated sometimes, but the actual feeling of finishing a piece that has like a lot of meaning to me is really satisfying and cathartic in that way, I think. My process usually begins with a sketch in my sketchbook because I'm working in my sketchbook a lot of the time. And I'll usually transfer that to a canvas, usually just by sketching it on. And the actual process for how I paint, I kind of mix it up sometimes. Usually I'll start with like an earth tone underpainting, and then I'll start layering on colors. But every once in a while I'll mix it up and just like go straight to blocking in colors without sketching or anything. So in the future, I am hoping to go to an art school. I've applied to a couple different places. And I'm hoping to major in illustration or communication arts because I'm really interested in that, and I want to do something having to do with like maybe medical illustration or scientific illustration, and then also I enjoy children's book illustration and narrative illustration like that a lot too. Ignore how frustrating it can be when your work fails and just keep working on it, and avoid getting like set in a certain way. Like don't decide that your art is going to be one way because that's really limiting for you. So just don't get too caught up in like having a style or being a certain way because that could inhibit the way that your art develops.